Ready? Here we go. Let's roll, guys. Let's bring down the music. Doesn't overpower my ear, and let's frackin' go. What is going on, Vikings fans? Welcome back to the Purple and Gold Bars Show. I am your host, Supreme Overlord, a.k.a. Mr. AI Man 3000, a.k.a. Mr. Purple and Gold Bars at your service. Don't forget, we are on the road to 500 subscribers, so don't forget to like and subscribe. I hope to reach that by the end of the calendar year. We're diving into this one, guys. It's been I've mostly been arguing this point in the comment sections, and I feel like it's time to make this video because people just don't seem to be able to use critical thinking skills. It's unbelievable. You know, people are acting like and throwing out these statements in social media or even making YouTube videos, even the big pundits, as you see in the thumbnail, saying things like the Vikings made mistake, but they crucially ignore the actual truth behind the matter. They just want to cherry pick the regular season as if it matters. Because as Vikings fans, we know that moving on from Sam was the right decision. Unless you're one of those brain dead fans that wants to lose in the playoffs again. Do those exist? I'm pretty sure our Vikings fans want to win in the playoffs, so I don't know about that. Hey, Mary, what's going on? So, people, that's what we're going to discuss today. We're talk about the difference between regular season Sam versus big game Sam. We're going to talk about why the Vikings did make the right call and move on from JJ McCarthy, despite what anybody wants to say, and how the pundits keep moving the goalposts to fit their narrative because, you know, they're just trying to get clicks and they really don't care about our Minnesota Vikings. So, and lastly, I want to touch base on what it actually means to finish a reclamation project because Sam's not done. He's got a couple years before anybody can completely say, oh, he's definitely fixed. Because he proved he can play in the regular season. But then he showed us by collapsing in the playoffs that he ain't ready to carry a team in the playoffs. So let's get ready. We're going to hit the show intro. Thank you so much for joining me here. Let's get it going. All right. You know, a lot of fans and NFL pundits are losing their minds right now, saying the Vikings made a huge mistake moving on from Sam Darnold. They're watching him ball out in Seattle and think, see, that's the guy they should have kept. But here's the thing. That's a completely flawed, lazy, and it's emotional to say. And it completely ignores the actual issue that's been haunting Sam his entire career. Now, we already know that Sam can play solid football in the regular season. He's shown that. Last year with the Vikings, he threw for 4,319 yards, 35 touchdowns, 12 picks, 66% completion rating, and 102.5 passer rating. 102.5 passer rating. That's real production. Nobody's denying that. But production doesn't equal progress. What separates good from the great is how you perform when the lights are the brightest. Now, let's look at those type of games. At the end of the season last year, he played against the Detroit Lions in week 18 for the division. Darnold went 18 for 41, 166 yards, 0 touchdowns, and a passer rating of 55.5. Basically half of his regular season passer rating. And that's what you guys want to say that we're missing out on? Man, get a grip. Then when we move on to the playoffs against the Rams, he went 25 for 40, 245 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick, sacked 9 times for 82 yards lost, and a passer rating of 77.6. You want to go into the playoffs with a guy that averages so far a 55 to 77 passer rating? What are you guys thinking? These idiot pundits like Colin Cowherd, John Middlecamp, Steve Smith, Fitz, and frickin' even Ocho and Unk completely cherry pick regular season stats because they don't want to make the actual comparison, because then that wouldn't get any clicks. People in this generation are rage bait happy. They like to feel negative. They like to complain instead of realizing that things have to happen in a certain way in order to move on from the heartache that we've been facing over the last few years. Man, that is not playoff ready. That's panic mode. You can't call a guy fixed when he collapses the moment the stake rises. So, the real issue, Sam's reclamation project isn't complete because the issue was never mechanics or talent. It's confidence under pressure. You can't simulate playoff pressure in week 6 against the Bears. You only grow in those crucible moments, and he hasn't shown growth yet. He's actually shown exactly why everybody mocked and made fun of him, including myself, every year before he became a Minnesota Viking. This year in Seattle, maybe he looks a little better than in those big games. Maybe he won't completely collapse in the playoffs. But until he proves he can win those moments, nothing's changed. I imagine this year, he might do slightly better, but the team might carry him to a playoff win. But eventually, when he plays a real solid team that's actually poised for contending for the Super Bowl, we're going to see the same old Sam. And we're going to probably see that next year. And probably then we'll start showing some meaningful growth. I don't know about you Vikings fans, but I don't want to sit through last year's embarrassing playoff loss, this year's embarrassing playoff loss, and then next year's embarrassing playoff loss just to say, we made the right decision in keeping Sam. Look at our regular season. I don't know about you guys, but Minnesota Vikings fans are conditioned to winning. We're top 10 all-time in franchise wins. We don't want wins anymore. We want playoff success, and we want that to transition into a Super Bowl. I'm not waiting 3 years to see if Sam grows enough to be able to win those big games. Screw that. By that time, everybody's going to be old, and we're going to have to be rebuilding through the draft, and it may not go the right way to where when he's ready to win, the rest of the team might not be ready to back him up. So, sorry but not sorry. I love Sam. Don't get me wrong. I love his story. I love what he did for us, and he will always have a spot in my heart because of what he did for us last year. That roller coaster ride, that was so fun. I kept telling people just ignore everything and enjoy it, because it's not always going to be this way, especially when we transition into building from a rookie quarterback going on. You guys didn't listen. You guys set up high expectations, and this is the result. Your emotional, brain-dead takes that make you say stupid things like, we should have kept Sam. For what? Because those exact same people that are saying we should have kept Sam would be the ones crucifying him in the playoffs when he collapses, saying we're stupid for signing him. So you can't fix stupid. You can't change a broken mind. Let them complain and let them realize the hard way. Because when Sam struggles in the playoff this year and the Seahawks don't do much, those people ain't going to be saying anything. They'll be the ones with their tail between their legs, trying to hope that nobody remembers how stupid they were at this time in the season. Don't forget, I'm going to remember. I'm keeping receipts. So, the Vikings made the right move. So what were the Vikings supposed to do? Keep a quarterback who's already proven that he can't deliver in big games just so fans can say, at least we made the playoffs again? That's not progress. That's purgatory. Moving to JJ McCarthy isn't about replacing stats. It's about chasing ceiling, not clinging to mediocrity. You don't build dynasties by being scared to evolve. Unbelievable. And here's the funny part. The same people screaming that we made a mistake would be the first one calling for heads if we kept Sam and lost badly again in January or in the playoffs in general. You can't have it both ways, just like Mary said. You can praise him for his stats. You can't praise him for his stats and then crucify him for his losses. Like the saying goes, you can't fix stupid. So the next time someone says the Vikings should have kept Sam Darnold, ask them one simple question. Did he fix his big game problem? Because until that answer changes, this conversation is pointless. All right, guys, thank you for enduring with me while I vent and let people know the truth about our Minnesota Vikings and Sam Darnold. And that goes twice for Danny Dimes. Because let's be real, Danny Dimes suffers from the same problem. He sucks in the playoffs. And so when the Colts struggle in the end of the season and struggle in the playoffs, I'm going to be reminding you idiots that we're saying we should have kept Danny Dimes the exact same way that I'm reminding you guys that we should have moved on from Sam. All right, guys, I'll see you guys on the next live in just a little bit. I'm going to prepare for weekly picks as well as our power rankings show where we kind of dive in and we brainstorm and try to figure out specifically where every team should land, try to make the most accurate and most realistic power rankings in the NFL. I love every single one of you guys. Thank you so much, Mary, for coming in and joining and supporting like you always do. You are one of my favorites, and I gain a lot of confidence just knowing that you enjoy what I'm doing here. Thank you so much. And don't forget to like and subscribe, everybody. We're trying to hit 500 subscribers by the end of the calendar year. Don't forget to smile and relax. It's always darkest before the dawn. We're just there. Remember, in the documentaries, they always gloss over or don't even mention this time in a dynasty's growth. They just start when the documentary just starts when the dynasty starts winning. They completely ignore all the doubt, all the pain, all the growth that came before. Because that doesn't sell tickets, that doesn't get clicks. Only the end result does. So don't forget that that's what we're in the middle of right now as Vikings fans. And guess what? We called for a rebuild. We called to draft a young quarterback and build that way. And now when we're doing it, you want to give up and pull the chute? Man, if you guys don't have resolve, man, I pity what it must be like for you in every single day life. Because if you don't have that kind of confidence in yourself, or you don't have that ability to face adversity and push forward in what you believe in, man, it must suck to be you. Unbelievable. Well, I still love every single one of you guys. It doesn't matter what fan base you are. I want your team to do good, except for when they're playing us, of course. I want them just to not have injuries and suck because we want to beat them. Yes, that goes the same for you Lions fans. I know that I troll you guys a little bit. I just know that you guys need to find Jesus, and maybe then you'll find an actual good team. I'm just trolling. I love you guys too. Hope everybody has a great time, great evening. I'll be back in just a little bit for my weekly picks live and then followed by the power rankings live. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a great one.